suppose being able to live free and enjoy what you do.
The American dream to me is that everybody that you can get an education, you can go to any church that you want to, and you when you find the person that you want to be in with for the rest of your life, you get married and have a family, and then you retire.
I don't know that I'm a very good test case for the American dream because, first of all, I wasn't born in America. And most people will define the American dream as, something to do with finances, some money that you've got a good job, a nice house, a nice car. But for me, an American dream would be nothing short of service. Just, being there for other people, helping, volunteering, helping guys get stuff done. That is the American dream. Because my daughters say the dream includes a house, a Ford Taurus, a white picket fence, and a dog, because they've seen many pictures. Mm-hmm. The depiction of an American dream, meaning financial success, but that's not what I equate it to. It's servitude, serving people, helping people, volunteering.
American dream to me at one time was when I was a teenager, going to school, and my thought was to graduate from school, get a profession, go to school, to college, so that I can have a better job than just going to high school. And after I did that, my dream did not stop, because I felt like when my parents went to school, their time was only to it was never get a high school education and a diploma. Theirs were to just their opportunity only took up to 8th and 9th grade. So that was an accomplishment as far as a family standpoint, that we have somebody to graduate from high school rather than just 9th and 10th grade, never still getting a diploma or anything of the sort.
Mostly, pretty much, yeah.
Yes, I feel that I've achieved the American dream.
It's a continual process, to achieve the American dream in terms of, for example, if I could go back to the general definition of getting the job of my dreams. I have a house, I have a family that I hope love me. We have a dog. So yes, by most people's definition, I have achieved the American dream. But then I always seek ways to improve myself, and one way that I can gauge that is in the relationship that I have with people, and one way to achieve that is by being there for them. So I am, how about this, achieving the American dream. It's present continuous, always ongoing.
I received the first part of an American dream that I had, and that was to go to school, to accomplish, get a diploma. I thought I wanted to be a nurse, but that didn't follow through only because of me, because I found out it was not what I wanted to do, because seeing blood and giving people shots was not anything that I thought I would desire to do. So I went into business school and accomplished that goal. And once I went to school, the other part was to get a good job, which I did, then turn around and have a family, marry and have a family, and I did that also. So, and at the time when we graduated, we did not have the opportunities that the other races had. As African American, the high school or the counselors at that time only thought that the black men were only capable of working in the coal mines or in the steel mill, or driving people around, being chauffeurs and so forth for different people. And the women, they were doing, it's nothing wrong with the jobs, they were honest jobs, but that didn't give you any opportunity to advance to any kind of position in management, supervisory, or anything like that. So when we decided, as I went on in life, and my counterpart, and to have children, we wanted something better for them, and to be able to go to college, because at the time when we went to school, graduated, they did not explain to us how to further our education. Our parents knew it was just too much money to go to school, to advance to college or anything like that. So they didn't know the opportunity of grants and student loans and so forth. Because in those days, their parents thought they did good. My grandparents thought their children did well by achieving the grades up to 8th or 9th grade or 10th grade, because they were slaves. They weren't even able to learn how to read or write. Because if they found out they were reading or knew how to read, they were punished for that. So therefore they kept that in secret, that someone else was teaching them how to read and write, because they didn't have the opportunity to go to school. So their American dream was to have a life better for their children, which their children did, because they accomplished going to school, a building, that they were able to go into a building and have school. And also, my parents had it better for me, thought it was better for me, because I was able to do the same thing. I went to school, graduated, had a diploma, and then went on to business school, got another diploma, had a family, and accomplished. At that time, there was nothing for us to say that we had our own to our own home. We always was renting. My grandparents was given land by the slave owners, a portion of land that they could grow crops and so forth. Then my parents came along, they were able to rent houses, but wasn't able to, they didn't think they had enough ability or finances to be able to own a house, which eventually they did. And then when I came along, or my brothers and I came along, we were able to purchase a house, build a house to our specification and what we wanted to do. So as time goes on, the American dream for me and most people will never stop, because there's always something else they can accomplish in life.
Yes, I do. In our location, you just kind of do what you want to do. You don't have to worry about where you're going to do it, what you're going to do. You know, there's always things to do. So I lived in Wyoming for many, many years. I was born and raised there, and it's an area that's not very populated, and we don't have to worry about going shopping. We just kind of make do with what we've got. If we don't have milk, we don't go to the store and buy milk. We just use something different.
The location that I was in didn't have any factories to work in, so I moved to Indiana where they had work factories all.
Surely. Yeah, there's some, okay, you meet different people in different situations if you're in Virginia or West Virginia or in Kansas, which is where the state I came here from, or in a different country. If you're in a different country, then the dream you have would be, the Venezuelan dream, the American dream. But yes, there are different opportunities available to people in different places, so it is true.
Yes, it does, because the area you live in, you have a certain, say, job opportunities for people to work in different jobs. Whereas where I lived, when my parents moved from the south to the north, which ended up in the state of Pennsylvania, parts of the state of Pennsylvania where we lived, it was just a steel mill. There was very few blue-collar jobs. People did, we didn't have black people to work in banks. We didn't have black people to be clerks in a store. Most of the time, the parents were either washing clothes for other people, washing and ironing clothes for other people, doing house cleaning for other people, and they weren't doing anything inside the house. So in the South, it was the same thing as in the North, but you had a little bit more opportunity to work in different areas once you learned, you got your education, because there were more black colleges springing up in the southern states. So then they were learning a trade. They had a dream of different things, just like Washington, D.C. area was designed by a black man. So he had a dream, and so do anybody else that have a dream. Your transportation went from the horse and buggies to cranking up cars to pushing a button to start a car, riding on an airplane. You're going from one state to another state within half hour or hour. It all depends on your destination. No longer 2 hours, depending on your time change. And international flights, and the same way with ships. It used to take months and months for you to do this, but now it doesn't. So somebody somewhere lived closer to water had a dream of, I think I can get this ship, because before they thought when you go as far as you can see, then the water, you just drop off. There's no place else to go. But as time went on, somebody had a dream. That doesn't happen, being white or black. So the American dream for most people don't never stop. It may stop in some generations to sit back and watch how it grows, and you go along with, because you're still obtaining the knowledge, even though you're not participating in that knowledge.
Yes, I do believe it has. The American dream has. Yeah.
No, not really. There's still a lot for young people.
Dream?
No, I don't think so.
That's just like asking if people have changed, and the answer is definitely yes. And I'm going by the generic definition of the American dream. Nowadays, I think, in my opinion, it is harder for people to achieve, not happiness, because the pursuit of happiness.
That's me.
Time. the pursuit of happiness, or for me, happiness is kind of like pie in the sky, it's like a dream. But the word that I look for is contentment. See, if you have a Mercedes or a Ferrari, and you're not happy with it because you want that newer model of a Mercedes, or maybe an iPhone. You got an iPhone 5, and then somebody came out with iPhone 6 and 7, and you just keep. You won't be satisfied with an iPhone 5 if everybody else has an iPhone 8. You cannot be content, even though most of the functions of the iPhone are the same. You can make phone calls, you can take pictures, you can text your friends. Nowadays it seems like it's not just the economy or all the things, the commercials that you see on TV. It is harder for people to achieve contentment, to be happy with what they have, to live within their means. On a global scale, you can see that the credit situation in our country is spiraling out of control. I try and teach my daughter, you don't have the money for it, don't get it. Because nowadays, if you don't have the money for it, put it on credit, you'll pay for it later, maybe 2.5 times the amount you could have paid for it in cash. And I'm getting off there, off into the weeds. It is harder for people to get content with what they have nowadays than it was in the past. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It has changed because when you would think about just voting rights, women in general didn't have voting rights, and then it came along the women had, but the black women did not have voting rights. So it came along that we have voting rights, we have black and white women in Congress and Senate and your state congressmen and all that kind of stuff, which before you didn't have that. So it has changed a lot, and to the point that we have black senators, black congressmen, and we had a black United States president, Obama.
Oh, maybe in my mid-30s. I quit being so, I guess I shouldn't say radical, but just quit being so particular, I just started thinking, why does it matter 40 years from now what somebody does today? Any age is a good age to reach it, but I would assume probably the sooner the better.
When I retired at the age of 62. Okay. And you?
That's age 60.
Okay.
Since I said it's a present continuous situation, it's ongoing. Maybe when you're 30 seconds from death, Well, most people say by the time Dad, you thought you should have graduated college, you should be married with a family, have a good job. And I think because of the different situations and places that people find themselves, most of these expectations that are put on people by society, they can create an undue pressure. If you say, I'm going to be married and have a good job by the time I'm 25, and by the time you're 25, you're still living in Dad's basement, you don't have a job, you're just like, you start questioning yourself unduly. But then situations might have, or the circumstances might have led to you still being with Dad at that age. So you didn't achieve your goal by the time you're 25. I would say roll with it, but keep working towards your goal or your dream. Eventually it will pan out with dedication, steadfastness, and with a good heart. Yeah.
Well, as far as my goal went, I believe once I got married, had a family, I built a house, we were doing well as far as finances went. My children went to college, and that's when my American dreams focus on their dreams to help push them to achieve their American dreams, as then they did the same. As we were at one point, they have taken it farther, and then their children has taken it even further. So it never stops because technologies never stop.
Yeah, location and wealth. I mean, the age probably, and I guess you don't need to be wealthy to have the American dream. You know, there's other things in life besides money.
Yes.
Especially in today's America. Yes, they shouldn't, but they do. Because, let me see. Roseanne, she lost her, a very, it's a very expensive, it's watched by many people. It cost a lot of money. And because she said something that was insensitive, she lost it. And the freedom of speech to say things like that is kind of double-edged sword. If you're a different color or religion or sex or whatnot, it should not affect your ability to achieve. But unfortunately, it does, because people are kind of stovepiped or siloed into, I am this, and this is just what I am going to be, what is expected of me, away with everybody and everything else. That should not be the case.
Yeah.
It does not bode well for us as a society when people think like that. Maybe it'll start in a small place, but I hope it's spread the love type thing grows.
Yeah.
But demographics do affect the achievement of the American dream. And it also might have a historical connotation, even though some of that is being eroded as we progress.
Yes, as I stated, demographics before would seem like you were stuck in the area that you lived in. And being race, being wealth, or anything else. Wealth may have been able that you could get on a train or a plane and go to that area, whereas somebody else may be stuck in that area because they don't have the financial ability to do so. But now, with the technology, they're able to stretch out their desires or their places that they want to do, places where they want to work at, places where they want to go to and see, just by looking on a computer and going that way.
Yes.
Yes, I think they did, because they sent me here to Indiana where I could get a job.
Yes, but they could not even fathom it, because what they probably had for me was the Kenyan dream, not only Kenya. But what they instilled in me was discipline to pursue whatever dream that I had or whatever goals that I set for myself. And I think in that sense they kind of succeeded. I hope it's something I'm still working on.
Yes, because they encouraged me for whatever I wanted to do, and helped and guided me, not only my parents, but as I said, it takes a village to raise a child. And our neighborhood had parents of, even though I wasn't that parent's child, but then as a community, they formed together to make sure that each one helped each person that was in the neighborhood, each person that they knew the parents, so they knew the child, and they also stood behind the child to help them to achieve their goal. Maybe my parents didn't know how to go about maybe getting a loan or how to get a financial aid to go to school, but somebody else did, and that's how you came, that everybody pitched in together to help that person move forward in their life.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, when I reached the age when I realized things weren't just, but also when the grandkids started coming around, then it was like, okay, I realized that money isn't everything. You have money, you've got to have time. Time, I guess, is more important.
No, not really.
Yeah, because my initial version of the American dream was that financial success and wealth, and nowadays I couldn't give two hoots about the amount of money that I have. It's always about the people around me. And so that's one of the bigger changes. I do not equate this American dream thing with wealth or material possessions.
Yes, it does, because if I stayed at a standstill and believed in, well, I got my education, so I don't need to go any further, or I had the job that I wanted to have, so I don't need to go any further. But if you did that, then you would not know what's going on in the world. You turn on the TV. When we were young, you turn on the TV, all you had was a black and white TV, and you see what was local. But now you can turn on the TV and have all these different channels. The cooking shows tell you how to cook, and you got how to make this, how to do that, all into technology. So therefore, it does still have effect on our lives as we grow, get older. We learn more as we get older. That's something you can't take away from a person, is their education or what they're learning. You try to learn something new every day.
Somewhat.
And what?
Well, I suppose you get a different outlook on other people's lives and things as you do if you're just discriminating away yourself,
No, I don't think so.
Yes, because most people, they watch media that kind of reinforces their view of the world. And if such a person were to watch something else, they'd have to go through significant, what they call a paradigm shift. If you watch conservative media, you will not want to give the liberal media time of day, and vice versa. So your views are shaped by the media that you watch. The answer to your question is yes.
Yes. The media, like I said, when you turn on the TV, they are explaining everything that's going on in the world at this moment. So media has it right out there for you. Whatever's going on in the world right now is happening. You can see on your TV. That media, your radio, the computer, your cell phone, everything, FaceTime. Like, whoever thought that I would be able to talk and see my grandchildren that lives 500 miles away or 1,000 miles away from me, that it would take me 4 or 5 hours to drive to them, maybe an hour or two to fly, but that's more expensive when I could turn on my phone or my computer and go FaceTime to see. Where you want to live, it's in California. I'm in the state of Pennsylvania. You want to see what kind of job I can get in California, or what type of place where I want to live. That media is there out there, and you can see everything right there. Is the area suitable for education, where you can see where your school district is for your children to go to school, what type of education, what grade level the education is. So the media plays a great part.
I don't expect them to, but I would hope that they have a good idea of what the American dream would be, and I guess just live it. But
American dream.
Yes.
I would like for my kids to carve out their own version of the American dream, or whatever goals and goals that they set for themselves in life. They could model whatever dream that I have, because I think I have a happy life. I am very content. They could model that, but if they want to go get more, then it's up to them, and I will support them whatever they choose to do.
They have already started that opportunity. They have accomplished part of their opportunity or their goals as their American dreams. But also, they have children that they're trying to help to get their American dream. They're not going to stop with what they have in hand already for themselves as their profession or as what they wanted to do in life. But now it's time to step up and pull forward and help your child to move forward, to help them with their American dream. And they will be their backup if they have a problem. Nothing goes easy. Nothing is easy. Everything is hard. Some things are hard, but you don't get discouraged, because if you thought about somebody getting discouraged and on the first flight of the airplane or first space tried it, the shuttle went up and blew up several times before it was actually supposedly went to the moon. So, like I said, there are people that have to step back and think, I am not going to reach my American dream just on one try or two tries. Just like this, our interview. It may take a couple times, because sometimes it's always good. Technology is good, but at the same time, it can get complicated, and then you have to keep trying. They don't take, when they do a movie or a TV show, they take how many shots before they get it right. So you're always out there. You'll never achieve your American dream to stop. It always will be out there for you to get someone your children to have and your children to have, and also even down to my great-grandchild. So it's there, always.
The people we interviewed, their American dream was to live happily and comfortably. My grandparents believed that demographics mainly affected the American dream, but media and the ideals of the American dream throughout generations wasn't a big deal as much. But I disagree. I feel that media has a big role in the American dream that our generation thinks of today. A lot of people, they see what they see on social media, and they want more expensive and fancy items, while people back then, they didn't have social media or a platform to look at to want fame and expensive items.
So I observed that a lot of people had different versions of the American dream, and I was really surprised by that, because I was expecting a lot of people to have really similar versions, wanting to have a nice house and all that, but there were a lot of different ones.
Yeah, I agree. I expected the stereotypical American dream, but I got a lot of different answers, and most people said how it changes throughout their life, and I agree with that. I even experienced that at a young age.